The highlight in Sydney racing yesterday was without doubt the win of Samantha Miss in the 2 rows stakes. It was over 1,500 for 3-year-old fillies, set weights Group 2 level. You've been chirping at the bit for this race, mate, so let's lead off.
This filly, Samantha Miss, she's just an absolute gun in my opinion. I've followed her all the way through because I admired her a lot as a yearling. Saw her at the Easter sales and way out of our price bracket, but thought she was a cracker then, and she just came through a 2-year-old racing and proved to be very competitive there. I think purely on ability, on natural talent, not because she was a juvenile by any means. And, to see her come back and come back, she's just such a beautiful horse. She's got so much size and presence and scope about her. The way she races is just yeah, so impressive. She relaxes, she hits the line strongly. You know, nothing's going to intimidate her because she's big and strong. I do believe that this could be the best filly we've seen since Sunline, which is a.
Glad you say since.
Yes, I wouldn't disrespect Sunline because she's got the runs on the board, but I do think that since that time, I think she's the most exciting thing that I've seen, and she's just got incredible potential in anything she runs in. I did tell the boys, Maddie here, after the Furious, that I think that this filly could win the Cox Plate, and I think after yesterday's performance, I see she's tightened up in the market. She is one filly that could beat Weekend Hustler in my opinion in a race like the Cox Plate with the pressure on. So very impressed with her. As for the others, Camille's was a good performance, definitely rose to the occasion. Glow Lamp, always a bridesmaid.
Worth a fortune.
Yeah, worth a lot. Very good residual filly, and she's very honest filly. Porteo was a bit disappointing. I think she probably that's her distance-wise. I think that probably levels
Sees her out.
Yeah. Oh, I think she probably doesn't get the 1500.
Yeah, I think 7 furlongs probably her. That's because she finishes a race. So sometimes those horses you think that they're going to run a distance.
Yeah, they'll keep going, but
they just don't. They need tempo and other things going their way. But yeah, that was my thoughts out of the race. Very impressive, Samantha Miss, and just can't wait till she goes down to Melbourne and kicks their brains in.
Yeah, look, no point going over the same thing. Agree with Suman there. Samantha Miss, absolutely unbelievable filly, and tend to agree with that statement. Perhaps the best filly we've seen since Sunline, which is an enormous saying because she was obviously the best filly or mare that we had seen in a long time. But I guess what I want to do is just put a bit of perspective on her and the talk of her in the Cox Plate. I think, as I said in our show last week, history is often the best guide to the future, and if we look at the record of the Cox Plate, there's been one 3-year-old filly in the history of the Cox Plate to win that race, and that was Surround. And boys, if you don't know, let me tell you that Surround was the best 3-year-old filly that this country has ever seen. She won all 3 Oaks, the Queensland, the AJC and the VRC Oaks, and before that she beat the boys in the Caulfield Guineas. Don't belittle that task, what that takes for a spring 3-year-old filly to beat the boys in the Caulfield Guineas.
Or to win a Cox Plate.
Yeah, and then to go on and win a Cox Plate. So that's the sort of bar that she needs to meet to be winning that sort of race.
Slight Chance.
Yeah.
Slight Chance ran in the Cox Plate as a 3-year-old and ran a very cheeky 3rd, I think. And for sure was quite unlucky in the race. There was a lot of interference in that race.
Yeah, so. as was Miss Finnan last year, and I think just I guess to further emphasise the enormity of the task that would be in front of her. If you just include all females, fillies and mares, I mean, Mackay Beat Ever and Sunline were the last 2 to do it since Surround. So after Surround, which was in what 76, there's only been Sunline and Mackay Beat Ever from the female brigade to win the Cox Plate.
One thing I will say, Maddie, that's very valid what you're saying, and one thing this filly has got in common with both Sunline and Mackay Beat Ever is she is a physical specimen and a half. Like most of the colts look inferior to her as a type. She's a big, strong thing. She's not going to get pushed out of the way. She's not going to get barged in a tight finish. She's going to be right there. So, and she just, for mine, the way she finishes her races off, the Cox Plate with the pressure on early, they start sprinting like from 600 out.
Even further, yeah.
Even further, and there's no place for the faint-hearted. But with a postage stamp, probably someone like Glenn Boss on the back or someone that can ride that way. There's only one. No, Lisa Crop. Lisa Crop
Sorry,
can just
yeah.
stay in New Zealand. She's not welcome in Australia. But yeah, there's probably a Shane Dyer or a Glenn Boss or
Yeah,
someone like that
yeah.
that can ride her. She just won't know herself. You know?
Yeah, look, and I mean, look, again, I'll refer to history. I heard these same things with Miss Finland.
Yeah, this is a better filly. This is a better filly.
I think everyone was as excited, not me, but most people were as excited about Miss Finland as they are about Samantha Miss, and they all said the same thing, 47 kilos, she won't know herself. I tell you what, she's going to need every bit of that 10 kilos that she'll receive off Weekend Hustler to get anywhere near him in that Cox Plate. Every bit of it. She will not be, I can't see her running away with a Cox Plate or anything like that. I think she'll be, you know, certainly a very strong competitor. I think she'll be worthy of her place if she runs. But I think we just need to give a little bit of context to this proposition that, you know, she's second favourite. I mean, God, there's so much more that needs to be done between now and the Cox Plate. And I think Hugh Bowman recognised that after the race. You know, he said, look, let's not get carried away.
Yeah, but Hughie can't ride her in a Cox Plate.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the person who was most bullish about it was Glenn Boss, who didn't ride her and
exactly
more than likely ride her. So
look, look, you've stolen a little bit of my thunder, I've got to say, Matthew. I agree with what you said, Suma. She's an outstanding 3-year-old filly, and the thing I like her about best is the broodmare size Zabille. Thank God for him in a pedigree.
Great cross, the dude's Zabille.
Yeah, well, Zabille's really doing the business, and that's, you know, you see the scope and length of stride in her, and she's as big and strong as a colt. No doubt about it. She is certainly an outstanding 3-year-old filly. Whether she's the best 3-year-old filly we've seen since Sunline, I'll reserve my judgment on that. Whether or not she's capable of winning a Cox Plate, again, I'll reserve my judgment on that too. But certainly an outstanding filly and much too good for anything in Sydney. And as we spoke about before, if she goes down for the 1,000 guineas, she'd probably be superior to those fillies in Melbourne. Also, pending. You know, if she settles in and handles the Melbourne way of going, that doesn't take away from it. If she leads from the right, if she leads from the right leg, and she skates around at no dramas, she'll win. But again, it's something.
In all things equal, boys, I think she's better than 3-year-old boys. She's the best. I think it's pretty clear she's the best 3-year-old that's going around at the moment. That's in
probably best 3-year-old in Australia.
In the country,
yeah.
Males or females.
Yeah.
I think that's plain to see. And that's
I'm a big fan of Destitute. I think up to a mile he's up to a mile.
I'll race him right now though.
Destitute up to a mile for mine. Best in the country.
Better than Samantha Miss, you think? He's better.
Up to a mile, he's a real good horse. You know, I think that he's very close. But just one quick thing, definition of trust. I believe when Samantha Miss does go down to Melbourne, she'll be staying at Ross McDonald's stable. So she'll be right next to a Weekend Hustle. So I reckon they might have someone on 24
Is that where she's staying?
Yeah, she's staying.
Not where I'd be keeping her. That's not where I'd be keeping her.
Maybe rub off on her.
They're good mates, and but I reckon they might have a 24-hour security camera on there.
I would.
But boys, isn't it good to see someone like a Chris Lee's a young fellow?
Fantastic.
Being given the backing of
nice
big money,
bloke.
being given the backing, big money to go out there and buy a yearling. He puts it all on the line, spends it all on one horse, and it gets proven right in the end with what is an outstanding.
He deserves the
that's
success
what
he's
it's all
getting,
about,
mate.
isn't it? Yeah.
He's grounded and he's a terrific young bloke. So,
The T-Rose.
okay, thank you.